Hey guys and girls, how's it going? And welcome back to a little bit more of the Madpack with myself, Lewis. Hope you're brilliant, having a great day as always. I'm here with Tarrant and my wife, and today we're going to be doing some electro-majiggery mumbo-jumbo of technical wizardry. Yes, that sounds exactly like the last few episodes. So, I really want to get this UU stuff done. It's starting to grind me now that it's taken a long time. So we're gonna take a big old. We're gonna take a foothold in it. We're gonna grab it by the something, and we're gonna make it. Yeah, it's gonna be beautiful. And I think the best way to do this, or the way that I know works fairly well, is probably by using some applied energistics. One thing that we haven't gone into yet, and it just works perfectly because of the use of the P2P panels, which I've never actually used before, but I know what they do. So we're gonna use some of those. And with the use of our Aethercraft, we can get many things. Hopefully, that's the plan. So, the first thing we're going to need to do is we're going to need to make some ME McGubbins. So let's have a little gandery job in here, our applied energistics area. And we're going to need to make ourselves, to start with, a controller. Yes, one of these guys, an ME controller. And a lot of this is going to need stuff like Fluix crystals and ME advanced processors. But bear in mind, I can make many of these because they all have AV costs, which is beautiful. So Fluix crystals are made with Nether quartz, Certus quartz, and redstone. So let's get ourselves some of these. So we want that stuff, we want Certus quartz and redstone. And we'll craft ourselves one of these. Only need one. There we go. And the next one we're going to want to make is going to be a cutting tool. Yes. So let's have a look. We need to make some ME advanced processors, which means we need to make our regular processors, which means we need quartz cutting knife. So sticks and some quartz and iron. Cool. Let's go ahead and make some of these guys then, shall we? So we got our sticks. There we go. We've got our quartz. And we've got our iron. There we go. One quartz cutting knife. Lovely jubbly. Let's go put that in there. I went and made a load more iron from our Aethercraft stuff because we was getting a little bit low. So I thought it'd be a good idea to go and do that. So now we've got these, we can make ourselves our diamond ones. So let's have a look in here and see what it's going to take to craft some of these guys. If I can find it. There we go. So we want these things, and we're going to need silicon, aren't we? So let's have a look at how we do silicon, shall we? So silicon is quartz smelted. Wow, kind of easy to do. So let's grab some Certus quartz, which we have millions of, because I don't know, this mod pack just seems to like having a lot of that stuff spawned. So I have loads of that. So let's do this, and we'll grab some of these guys. Wait for it to pop out the hole. And I'm probably going to go make a load more of these, I think. So let's take this. And we'll go make, I don't know, 5 more? Depends how much they cost. They could be like dirt cheap. Are they dirt cheap? Yeah, they're dirt cheap. So we're going to get a lot of these. So let's do this. And, oh, no, I made it eat it. My bad. My bad. My bad. Wow. Wow. Definitely meant to do that. Let's go get another one. And we shall do this again. I can't believe I'm still doing that. Like, it's been, what, like 4 or 5 episodes? And I'm still putting the stuff in there? I don't know. Old habits. There we go. So, while it's doing that, another thing that we're going to make today as well is going to be a certain type of tool, which is going to work really well for moving around all of our gubbins. Because I tried using the force wrench on a lot of IC2 stuff, and the problem I found is it puts it the wrong way around, and it's very hard to move it the other way around. So we're going to see if we can make a funky little tool for that. So let's do that. We'll get, let's make, I only want 64, so 64 is going to be more than enough for that. And then let's put all those back in there. There we go. We only want those guys, don't we? Oh, cool. And now we can go make one of our advanced processors. And I'm sure we're going to need to dupe up some of our regular processors at a later stage. But for the time being, these processors are going to do just fine. So let's make some of these. So we want our cutting knife. We want a diamond. Oh yeah. We need some silicon. And some redstone. It gives us one advanced processor assembly. Yes. And this guy's going to need to go into a furnace and get cooked up as well. I've never understood why you need to do this. Why you need to cook up your processors. I know sometimes you need to heat them up, don't you, processors, for them to set. but I've never known of thrown him in a furnace. But I dare you know, you never know. You never know. It could be a thing that happens. Well, I guess we'll find out one day. So let's grab all of these guys, and we'll craft ourselves a few more of these. I think I get 1 per diamond, so I'm going to make 6. It's probably going to be more than enough. There we go, let's pop those back in there. So we've got 6 of these guys now. Cool. And we're going to need some more Fluix crystals as well, aren't we? So let's grab some more Fluix crystals while we're here. So let's grab these guys. There we go. And Fluix crystals. Cool. This Aether thing has literally saved my bubble. It's amazing. Can't get over it. So now we should have enough things to make our controller. So let's go and throw this guy down. And this is the bread and butter of anything you're going to do in this. So you have to have one of these. So we'll make that guy. And I think we're going to place it here in the wall. I think that's going to be a place where we're going to do all of this stuff. So let's grab ourselves a pickaxe from in here. And we'll pop it here. Yeah, this seems like a good place to do it. So we'll pop this guy in here. There we go. And he's good to be used, but he's going to need some power and whatnot, I think. And then we'll get like a thing here, because we're not really using this at the minute, are we? This guy. So I guess we could take down our rack. And then we could put something there. Actually, I know what I could do with this. Let's put this up here. And we can put our CDs on it, because we're always listening to different CDs, aren't we? So let's do that. There is actually a CD rack, but you know what? This will do just fine. So there we go. There we go. And we'll throw you back on for the time being. Okay, right. So we've got our main input, our ME controller, done and set. We're going to need to provide power to it. We'll do this via cabling. And I'm trying to think of a good way that I want this to work. So I think we could use these cables to come down through here and do all of this. I might even just rip this all apart and start it again. Or they could come down there. Let's dig into here a little bit. Yeah, we'll do this. So let's go get some cables. We'll get some regular ones. And we're going to pump it into there, into our ME controller. And our controller and our main assembly area for our ME and all of the UU we're going to be making are going to be separate, I believe. So that should now begin. Power, yes, put that in. EU mode. So energy use is free, and we've got loads in there, good stuff. So that should be filling up nicely. Yes. Alright, so it's not actually going to need that much power going in there because of what we're using. The P2P panels are probably going to be the more expensive side of things. So we'll have to, you know, keep a check on that and see how it's doing. But now that we've got that up and running, we're looking pretty good. So the next thing we're going to want is our P2P panels, really, are going to be the next thing. So let's have a look at our P2P panels. Here we go. So these guys allow you to transfer energy via your network. So, and this goes the same with fluids and things like that. So, yeah, and they just work really well. Work really, really well. So we need a advanced processor. We need some Fluix crystals. We're going to need some ME cables, and we're probably going to need a lot of these. So these are going to be one of the first things we need. So Fluix dust is redstone, Certus quartz, and nether quartz dust. So let's grab a bit of this, and we'll go and chop it all up. And I'm pretty sure we can do that in a macerator. So let's do that. Yeah. And then we'll go make a load more of these as well. And then we'll get our P2P panels. So we're going to need we're going to need quite a few of them. But let's get our UU sorted out first before we do anything else. I think that's going to be a thing. So here we go. So we should have our nether quartz. And we'll grab some redstone. So there's that. And Certus quartz. And redstone. Very nice. And how much is that? It's an AV of 40. Do I want to make more? Yeah, I do want to make more of these. So let's go make some more of these. Then we'll get our cables. We'll double the cables, so we have a lot of cables. And then we should be able to make a load of the P2P panels. I'm kind of excited to see how well this is going to work. I have a feeling it's going to work pretty... You know, I think it's going to work pretty well. I'm kind of excited about this. So let's grab, say... Yeah, that would do. We'll grab a load of those. Pop a diamond in there. And get those doing their thing. And now we'll put these guys together. So, do I need some glass? I do. I'm going to need some glass. That's fine. Let's get our glass. And let's get this rocking and a rolling. So, you know, we'll just make a load of these right now. So that's 21. And we'll take 12. Cool. And what should we listen to now? I don't know. Let's go with some of this guy maybe. Ooh. Ooh, very spacey. I like it. So, we've got our ME cables, we've got our advanced processors, we're going to need some conversion matrices, which means we're going to need some of the regular basic processors. So let's make a few of these while we're at it. So the regular basic processors are the same, except you use gold, which, you know, is kind of cool. So let's throw that in there, get some gold. You know, we'll make a few of these while we're at it. Let's make 5. And we'll do this, and throw in our silicon. There we go. And let's go and get these cooking, because remember, we need to bake our processors to make sure they're nice and fluffy and ready for consumption. Cool. Man, this is going to work really well. I'm excited about this. So we'll grab our processor. And let's go and throw that in there. They can stop there because I'm going to duplicate the P2Ps anyway. So we'll do that. And we've got fluix dust, we've got all these things. So I should, in theory, be able to do this. There we go. So that guy, a few of these things, some fluix, and our nether quartz. Cool, gives me my conversion matrix. Now we're going to throw one of these in here. So let's do that. Gives me my P2P tunnel. And I'm probably going to need a few of these. So what do these cost? These cost 12,000. And diamonds are 8,000. So we'll get about... Let's go with 6. I think 6 is a good round number for this sort of stuff. Yeah. So let's throw our P2P in there. So it's going to cost, what's that, 2 each? So it's 4, 5, 6. Yeah, I think that's, well, 7, really. So I think that's going to, that should do it, hopefully. Because the plan is to get all of our machines running off of this eventually. Now, one thing I found, which I don't know whether it's... been fixed or whether it's changed, but the last time I played with P2P tunnels, and this could be the way they work, I could just be just getting it wrong, but they seem to not care about the amount of energy going in and out, so it means that you can take no, you don't have to think about the max and minimum requirements of machines in any way. They just do their thing, which is nice, although there is a small power deficit for power going into a P2P network. Yes, so you know, it's not that great, but it's good enough. So let's grab our guys. Now, the first thing I'm going to want to grab is my IC2 stuff, isn't it? Yes. So let's go get a force wrench. And we'll get this guy cracking. Now, I'm going to try with the force wrench, but sometimes this goes a little bit wrong. So we'll have to wait and see. But I'm going to try and grab the guys with a force wrench. This is where everything blows up. Whoop. There we go. And you can see they actually turn into slides. I don't think it's meant to do that. I think that's kind of a thing that's kind of weird. But it does do it. Why? Not a sausage. So where are we going to set all of this up? Well, I think we're going to set all of this up all around here. I think this is going to be a thing. So currently, things like you can come with me. You can come with me. You can come with me. What have we got here? You can. All of these can come with me. There we go. So what have we got? We've got a force extractor, fabricator, compressor, macerator, force grinder, and force furnace. Cool beans. So we've got most of the bits that we're going to need to be able to fit this all back together. Now I want to try and make it look at least slightly nice, or slightly organised, if that's even a thing. We can probably take you with us as well. There we go. So there's an MFV. And these generators are powering downstairs. So these kind of need to stay here, I think. Can I take my chest? There we go. Let's break you. Break you. Don't need you running anymore. There we go. And we'll come and fix this up in a little while, I think. Yeah, because we've got a fairly decent amount of stuff on us at the minute. So our P2P system is going to come from the back and it's going to come up through here. So let's break this. There we go. And we're going to have to think about power as well. So power is going to be a fairly big thing. as well with all of this. So I think the line of it's going to come across here. And I'm going to replace all of this with some wood probably, so that it looks... So I can get across without having to, you know, jump around all the time. Because at the minute I have to jump across and it's a bit of a pain in the bum. There we go. So, let's throw away some of our stuff so we haven't got a load of rubbish on us. And we'll try and get this looking a little bit nicer, shall we? So, let's go do that. Throw all our fluics and whatnot in here. So, silicon, fluics, all of you guys can go in here for the moment. There we go. Nice scrap. Excess scrappage. And those guys. And some wooden things. Cool. I think we're set. So, the next thing is to get power into our network. Now, the best way I've found of doing this is probably going to be via using solar panels. I was going to use the force guys here, these ones, but I decided that, hey, you know, there's probably, we can use those and it'll work better that way. Let's just turn this off for the time being. There we go. Should stop it. Yeah, cool. And yeah, so I was going to use these guys, the generators, but then I decided kind of against it because I thought that, oh, let's turn Whaler back on for you. There we go. Yeah, I decided against it because the force generators are fine. I can multiply the force generators, but the one thing that I can generate a lot quicker and a lot easier is going to be, if I can make my way up here. Oh, these guys are black force furnaces. Yes, so let's grab one of these. Ba-bam, ba-bam. Now the force furnaces are good because they have a cost of 3,000. So AV cost of 3,000. Whereas what I found from solar panels, if we look at the recipe for our white force panels, we go across a little bit. No, it's not going to bring it up now, is it? I want the yellow ones. Let's have a look. Solar panels here. So regular ones are 13,000. Whereas the uses for these, if you use a force rod on a solar panel, you get a yellow force panel. They cost 3,000. Yeah. So we like almost, what is that, like 1/3 it almost? Like a ridiculous amount to get that many. And this is what's going to be the starting point for our power system. So if we go back, we should be able to grab ourselves a fairly decent amount of these panels, bearing in mind that a diamond is worth 8,000. So let's throw in our white force panel. And throw in diamonds, and every diamond is worth about a load. So I can get, what's that, 20, 22, 25. We can get a fairly decent amount of force panels, which, you know, is pretty nice. So let's throw those back in there for the time being. And we're going to try and get this all set up and looking nice. And I think I'm going to use, because we're going to be upgrading this eventually to a much higher output, I'm probably going to go with fiberglass cables. They're expensive, but they're good. It could, or we could stick with the regular copper. We'll go copper for the time being, I think. Yeah. We'll go copper for the time being, just so we're good. How much do these guys take? These take 32. Got 25, 26. Well, we could even stick with just insulated tin. You know what? We'll stick with tin. We're going to be a cheapskate. Why not? Yeah, we'll stick with tin. No, we'll go copper. Trying to think about how I'm going to upgrade it, and I think if I do a little bit extra, it means I can upgrade better without having to worry about the cables. So, these don't need to be here anymore, because we're not going to be having that running down there. We're going to have our system coming from around here. So let's get inside, shall we? So I think a good entrance would be here. Where does that take us to? Oh man, that's almost perfect. Amazing. Alright, so let's go back up. And we're going to have our system around here. So let's throw down our cables. There we go. And we'll start putting down our force panels. Yeah. We'll have a load of these running all along here. And on the other side. Oh. How much we got left? We've got 2 more left to be laying down. Let's just do this. There we go. And that. And that. Cool. So we've got a fairly decent amount of power coming in through, which is steady, constant power, which is nice. And it's kind of free, isn't it? So we don't have to worry about that. So let's throw down, to start with, we'll go down here. And we're going to want to put down some regular ME cabling. It's going to go into the back of our box. And it's going to come up around here somewhere. Let's have it come here. Oh, oh, oh. Break this one because we don't need this one. There we go. And now we're going to put down our P2P tunnel. So if we put that there, like that. And now we want to put it and set it to take in EU. So we do that by hitting it with a copper cable. Poof, there we go. You can see that it's now connected to our P2P tunnel. Cool beans. So now we can send this power anywhere we like via our ME system, which is very cool indeed. So wherever we connect this to, we can tell it to go to certain machines. So I can have a line of machines here and have our P2P connectors behind here, telling that it needs to go to these certain areas, which is great because that means that we can have the A system set all throughout the base without having to worry about having lots of different types of cables. They can all run off the same thing, which is the main thing that we're going for here. So if I break this area here, there we go. And we grab our, let's go with our fabricator. And we pop it here. Right, this is where the breaking of everything happens, because it never goes the right way around. Let's try it this way. So let's go mass fabricator. I need to figure out which way around this puts it. So, which way around are you? Are you backwards? You looking at the ground? He's looking at the ground. Okay, so if I placed him this way, he's looking at the ground. If I placed him this way, he's looking at the ground. Wherever you place him, he'll be staring at that ground. Excellent. Yes, I had this problem before with the force wrench with IC2 stuff where it places it in such a wonky angle that it just never works. I guess the main thing to do would probably be to use an actual wrench, but I'm very, very scared that it might break, so we might have to be a little bit kind of careful about that. But if we put it in lossless, we should be okay, hopefully. So let's have a look at our wrenching area. We'd need to make ourselves an electric wrench, so we'd need a small power unit. We need some of these things, so coils and whatnot. Let's have a look in it. Let's see what we've got inside here. Or I could use a dolly. I wonder if a dolly will work. Let's have a look at a dolly. Have we got a jabber? No, we do not. Okie dokie. I'm going to need to make one of those. Alright, guys. I'll be right back. I'm going to make myself one of these, and then we'll carry on setting it all up. Alright then, so I've had a little play around, and I've got it looking a little bit nicer, a little bit neater, and a little bit more well-functioning, yeah. So if we have a look over here, we can see that I've moved my aqueous accumulator upstairs onto the roof with my black force furnaces. And these are currently powering down here our ME network itself. So that's where all the power's going, it's only going into there, it's working perfectly fine, and it's doing its thing. There we go. So we're looking good. And the excess power from here is going into here. It's going into our MFE, which is good because that means that we can then power all of our gear and whatnot and all of that stuff. So if I need to quickly get the stuff in my nanosuit, I can. The problem I had before was a lot of the power was being split between this and the mass fabricator. And the problem with a mass fabricator is it eats energy. It's like an energy bin. So there's never any power in there for me to go and get any of my stuff charged up, whereas now there is, which is good. And when that's fully charged up, which shouldn't really take that long, this guy's going to charge up and he'll be nice and happy then. So we'll wait for that to do its thing. Now, a little note for you guys, which I found out not too long ago, is when you set these type of things up, really don't do them with force stuff because it doesn't end very well. I forgot that, so I've taken them out. That's why we've got holes here. I will have to make myself a regular extractor, and well, I don't need a grinder because I've got a macerator. But yeah, you're going to want to go ahead and not use these stuff with P2P panels because it doesn't end very well. You can try, but it doesn't like it. It goes boom. So what we're going to do is we're going to place these along here, our P2P panels. Oh, no, I want you going into the guy. Come here. Come here. There we go. Right, get into the bottom of that. And up on that. One there. And we'll grab our regular ME cables. So let's do that one. And I think I'm going to want to go get some more. So let's go and replicate some more of these. And these ME cables by themselves are dirt cheap. 42 AV for ME cables. Wow, that's insane. So let's grab a load more ME cables. There we go. That's more than enough. And we'll get those guys doing that. Cool. So now we're going to get all the power that's going from our solar panels upstairs to be brought down via the cables into the machines. And it's going to be awesome. So let's do that. We're going to need to make another machine quickly, or a little thing. We need a diamond circuit, I think. ME advanced processor. Yeah, that's the one. We're going to need one of those. And we're going to make ourselves one of these, a ME bus memory card. Yes. And why does it need to be in the chest for it to recognize it? No, just doesn't want to do it. Sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't. So let's get our gold. There we go. And our iron. And our redstone. Cool. Get ourselves an ME bus memory card. And what we're going to do is we're going to go upstairs and we're going to tell this guy to read from our input, which is that. So if we shift click on it, it's going to say settings saved to memory card, which is the settings that it is a IC2 input and it takes that power and such. And then we're going to go and right click on these. There we go. Settings loaded from memory card. So it's going to remember those. The settings are then going to go into those P2P panels. And if we look up here, we should find that these guys have power. Yeah, see? Looking good. So now if we try and do something, it should work. Hopefully. So let's give it a little go, shall we? Have we got anything that I can throw in there and make them do things? Let's try some... we haven't actually got that much, have we? We've got coal, pulverized stuff. I don't think I can actually have anything I can cook. Oh, yeah, I have. Yeah, I have. We'll just do some cobblestone. Make sure they're all working and they're not going to explode. Bear in mind, there's an overabundance of power going into these, I believe. So we should be good. So, yeah. Furnace. Yeah. And compressor. Can you compress cobblestone? Is that a thing? No, it's not. Cool. Alright, so I think we've got it. They're working fine. Everything seems to be... bit of sand. Everything seems to be working as far as these guys are concerned, which is nice. So I will have to go and obviously change this up, but for the time being, it's working, which is great. So the next thing I want to do, I think, is going to be to set up a way for this guy over here to work, our mass fabricator. And for that, we're going to need power, and we're going to need a fairly decent amount of it. And it might even be worth me changing this around a little bit, because this guy is going to struggle to get power at the minute, unfortunately. Purely because it's trying to power that before it's trying to power this. So I think maybe removing the MFE for a minute could be a good thing. Let's give it a shot. So let's power this guy up. And weird at you. Oh. Come here. There we go. Alright, so all of the power is now going to be going directly down into here. And hopefully it's going to come back to life. It should do, because I'm going to need a lot of power for being able to do this. We're going to send a load of cabling around the bottom of here. Yeah, so we're going to have more come around here, which is then going to go into there. So I'm going to need to get rid of these blocks for the time being. Cool. And we're going to want our cabling to come... Do I want it to come around the bottom? It's going to look a little bit scruffy. Or can it come around the back? Can we bring it out of here? We can. So what's through here? Ah, alright, a room that I actually don't use. Brilliant, this is going to come in mega handy. So let's do this. Alright, so that's our mass fabricator. So we'll have the wires coming from round here, I believe. Actually, no. Let's bring them up one. I don't think it looks that nice with them coming around the back, because I can't place any cobblestone there, can I? Yeah, that's going to be better. So let's bring them like this. And we're going to want to put, once again, our P2P on there. There we go. and use our bus memory card. Bam. So this should hopefully now be getting power, as long as there is enough power going into our main area downstairs. That's the hope. Oh, yeah, there we go. So I can go throw our scrap in there and it's going to start doing that. Good stuff. Now, the other thing is getting our scrap in there, because these guys won't send items directly into each other. Even though they're both from IC2, it just doesn't work like that. It doesn't like it. I don't know why. It just doesn't. So what we're going to do is we're probably going to do this. So I'm going to have an input and a export, probably coming from the top, I think. So we can have items coming into the network. That's probably going to be another way of doing it. Yeah. So we're going to need to grab ourselves a couple of more things, aren't we? I'm going to need to make a ME drive. Oh, do I need an ME drive? I don't really need an ME drive. We could do an access terminal, and we could make ourselves one of the storage units. That could be another way of doing it. Okay. Alright guys, I'm going to go and craft a few things, and we'll be right back to probably finish this episode off. Okie dokie, so I think I've made all the bits that I need. I've made myself a ME Precision Import Bus, a ME Precision Export Bus, and we've made a few things here. So I crafted myself an ME drive and threw in a 1K storage cell. They're the cheapest ones of the lot. You can make anything from 1K up to, I believe, like 64. There's absolutely tons of them. If we have a look in Applied Energistics, here we have the regular 1K, which requires a storage cell, which is one ME basic processor. The reason I make this stuff off screen is because it takes ages, because it's just a grind to make any of these. Like the 16K requires a storage block, which requires storage segments, which requires storage cells. You get the picture. It's just it's that way round of Applied Energistics. But I made a 1K one because I'm not actually planning on putting stuff in here for the time being. Now we're going to put down an ME access terminal so I can see what's in my system. So let's throw that there. And currently in my system there is nothing, but I can place stuff in there, and that's going to go ahead and take some size up on our storage cells. So obviously if you want to use this as a main storage, you're going to want to put bigger storage cells in there, and eventually we will do that. But for the time being, this is just for the just for being able to make our UU a little bit easier. So that's all set up and good to go. We can now import and export items in and out of our system, which is good. So this is where we use our new cables. So the first thing we want to do is we want to import into our system, and we're going to import from our recycler. So let's see if this is going to work, because I've always had problems with IC2 machines. There we go. Is it going in? 58, 57, 56. Yes, it is good. So there are items now going into our system. So if we have a look down here, we should find that we have scrap going in there. Good stuff. And now we want it to export from our system. It's going to export into this. There we go. And what I want it to export is going to be scrap. Oh yeah. And to be honest, I don't really need to set this, but I'm going to go and put it in there anyway. So the reason you have these precision ones is so that you can set certain things. So you can put redstone mode on them, you can put stack mode. So if we wanted stacks to only go in there, we could. At the minute we're not creating it fast enough to have it in stack mode, but it doesn't really matter which way you have it around. But all in all, it's working. We're getting stuff into our system. Our mass fabricators doing the trick. He's already up to 45%, so he's going far faster than he was before. And if I wanted to, I could go make a load more of those solar panels as well. So that's good stuff. The next thing really is to get the power upping on it, which we'll do soon, but to be able to make any of the better solar panels, and to be honest, I want it to run off solar panels because it's just cheap, free and easy. If you want any of the upgraded solar panels, like the advanced solar panel, which is the next one in the solar panel list, we're going to need to get ourselves our first bit of iridium first. And if we have a look at our radiant reinforced plates, we're going to need ourselves an iridium iron plate, which means we need one piece of iridium to start with. And getting iridium all by itself, I think the first bit you have to find from like dungeon chests and what. From there you can then go and get a pattern of it and you can go and encode it from there, but we'll get onto that later once we have enough UU matter to even think about doing that sort of stuff. There is another way of doing it, I found out, with the molecular transformers, but you need a redonkulous amount of power. Well, at least I think you do. If we have a look in here, yeah, the molecular transformer will turn one iron into an iridium ore, but it requires 9 million power, which is quite a bit. Because at the minute, this requires 1 million, so it's, yeah, definitely a little bit different. So, the only thing that's left really is to set up our barrel so that we can have our stuff going back in there. So let's pop that on there. We'll go get our guys from down here. Let's use our fluiducts. And we'll go and throw it over here again, I think. We might even need some more of these. So let's put that like that. And you know what? We'll have a row of them. Because why not? Because I like the idea of it. So let's grab that one. And we'll go and make ourselves some more fluiducts quickly. Fluiducts. There we go. So we need lead and copper. That's fine, because I believe we have many a lead and many a copper. Let's have a little look in here. Lead. There we go. Lead and copper. Cool. And let's go and set this guy up. So we're probably going to need to put a servo in there. So we'll put these along the top. There we go. Let's do that. And we'll tell this guy to output. Cool. Now, I don't actually know if you can put servos into the ones that aren't the like the higher tier, but I guess we're going to find out, aren't we? So let's have a look at servos. So we want to make one of these guys. They're mega cheap. So we want to add our glass, our redstone, and our iron. Cool. Give me one pneumatic servo. And let's see if this is going to work. So can we place it on there? We can. Awesome. Redstone ignored. Let's have a look. Is it going out? Our U matter. Well, there's no way of finding out just yet because we haven't made enough to make the U matter, but we will eventually. I'm even thinking of changing around so that we have a automation of scrap into scrap boxes, because scrap boxes last longer, don't they? So maybe that's going to be another thing that we can do just to try and neaten up a little bit and make it work a little bit faster. I think as it's set at the minute it works fast enough, but it could be a little bit handy to have it working a little bit nicer. But yeah, all that's left to do now, I guess, is to get it looking a little bit nice around here, because we've got to made a fairly good mess, I think. We've made a pretty good one, probably better than 10, I'd say. It requires a little bit of nice preparation to go and get this place looking a little bit nice. So I'm going to need to go behind there at some point and fix that up. But except for that, we are working, guys. We've got it all up and running. I'm going to even throw a few more barrels along it so we have a barrel of UU. It's going to look nice, I think. And I need to make myself the actual IC2 versions of the extractor and, well, just the extractor. So we can put them along here. I think I'll probably make the rotary one as well, so that we can do that and it's faster then, isn't it? Because these guys, like I say, just don't like working with the P2P buses. You will have a problem if you try and do it, but fill my gas. There we go. Cool beans. Alright guys, well that's going to be that for this episode. I hope you've enjoyed it. I shall see you soon for another. Have yourself a great day. Have a good one as always. And goodbye.